What's going on, everyone? Thanks for clicking on the video. If you like this video, leave it a like, comment on what you want to see next, and subscribe so you never miss out on a future video. In this video, we're going to be talking about a workout you can do with just resistance bands that will target your pushing muscles, so your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps. So stick around for a breakdown of the specific movements we're going to do, the sets, reps, and the rest times. So when I'm doing this workout here at home, I like to use progressive overload, which means the heavier weight you use, the less reps you do. Now, when it comes to resistance bands, I always like to use 3 different kinds of resistance bands. Now in this video, we're just going to be using this one, but I do recommend when you're working with resistance bands, in order to increase your strength, you want to use different levels of resistance bands, especially when you're going from a higher number of reps to a lower number of reps. As I mentioned, in this video we're going to be talking about 3 different muscle groups and 2 exercises per muscle group that are going to be helpful, especially if you use a wheelchair like myself, in pushing your wheelchair and just everyday activities to help strengthen your chest, your triceps, and your shoulders. So the first exercise we're going to be doing is called a chest press. Now I have made a video separately on the chest press, so if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it in the description below. So check that out if you want to learn how to do a chest press on its own, but you can stick around in this video and we're going to talk about it right now. So as you can see, I like to set up first with putting the resistance band under my armpits as much as I can. I always find that if the resistance band is over my shoulders, sometimes when I'm pushing, the resistance band kind of rolls up my back and hits my neck. And also when it's in this position, I just feel like I can have a better range of motion, and it hits my chest a lot better being in this position rather than around my shoulders. But personal preference there. This workout, I usually do these 6 exercises, 3 sets each, starting with 15 reps, then 12 reps, then 10 reps, with about a minute rest in between each set and each exercise. But here we're just going to be talking about 1 set for each to save some time so you guys can do the exercises on your own. Okay. So when you're first performing a chest press with resistance bands, I always like to keep my elbows halfway between my side and shoulder level, so somewhere around here. We want to make sure our shoulder blades are down and back, so think about pinching someone's fingers between your shoulder blades, or a pen or a pencil between your shoulder blades, just keeping them down and back, keep everything nice and stable. And from here, we're going to hold the resistance band in a fist in each hand. From here, we're just going to extend out and come back in. Now notice I'm not bringing my elbows up in the air like that. I'm keeping my elbows in the same spot, just pushing out, coming back in. Okay? So let's do 15 reps of that. Exercise we're going to be doing is a Pec Fly. Now this is also going to be working the pecs or your chest muscles, but just kind of in a different way. So one of the motions of the pecs, the chest muscles, is to bring your arms across your body. So this exercise is going to be doing just that. Now this, I always find I like to use a heavy resistance band, because when your arms are out here, you start with your arms out here fully extended, again in the chest press position with the resistance band under your armpits. From here, coming across, and when you cross your arms under and over each other, that's when you really feel the chest muscles kind of engaging there. So I always like to alternate when I'm doing it. Okay, so let's do 15 reps of that. Now that may not have seemed like a lot of tension on the muscle or anything, but like I said, the heavier resistance you use, the more tension you're going to feel. And if you don't have a super heavy resistance band for your particular skill level or your strength level, then like I said earlier, just kind of slow down the reps and go from there. So the next 2 exercises we're going to be doing are going to be focusing on the shoulders. So this first one is going to be the front part of the shoulders, and then the next one is going to be the side part of the shoulders. Okay, so when we're doing this next one is going to be called a front raise. So when we're doing this, I always like to wrap the resistance band around the leg of my chair, the one of the bars of my chair, whichever side. So if you want to go one-handed, it would just be wrapped around one side of your chair. If you want to go two-handed, like we can do here, you just wrap the resistance band under both sides of your chair. I always like to kind of sit up in my chair when I'm doing this. And the whole key to this movement is you want to keep your arms out, straight out in front of you. And it's not going to feel like a huge range of motion, but the heavier resistance band, like I said, the more you're going to feel it in the muscles. So kind of a shorter range of motion. Make sure to choke up on the band as much as necessary. And from here, you're going to hold the resistance band out in front of you. Just come up like that. So we don't need to go completely overhead, and as you can see, matter of fact, the heavier the resistance band, the harder it is to go overhead. But all we need to do is just go to shoulder level, slow and controlled on the way back down. Okay, so let's get 15 reps of that one. Now, if you noticed on that one, what I like to do, especially on front raises, and as you'll see next, the side raises, is with resistance bands, I always like to get an extra punch at the top, just to kind of really reinforce the muscle growth and the muscle tension on the muscle each time you're doing that movement. But that's just kind of personal preference for me. You know, you can go nice, slow and controlled up and back down. I always like to just kind of go quicker. You know, for more power and explosive movements, especially for athletes, that does tend to, you know, help your performance in your sport. So give that a try if you're looking for a way to build the front part of your shoulders. Next exercise, same kind of setup. You want to loop the resistance band under your chair, under both ends of the chair, but instead of coming out to the front with your arms out straight like this, like we did in the last exercise, we're going to be coming out to the side like that. Okay, and as you can see, I have my thumbs pointed up toward the ceiling. For this exercise, lateral raise, I just like to, you know, kind of use my thumbs as a guide for where I want my arms and my shoulders to go. And, you know, same as the front raise, we don't need to go up any higher than shoulders for this one, especially the heavier resistance you use. So let's get 15 reps of that. Muscle group we're going to be talking about is the triceps. Now, the 2 exercises we're going to be talking about are a tricep extension and a tricep pushdown. So the way I like to do triceps extensions with resistance bands is kind of a similar setup to a chest press, although instead of coming out here, we're going to be starting with our elbows kind of pointing toward the ceiling as much as you can. Now, the higher you point your elbows, the more stretch you're going to get on your triceps, so that in turn will help lengthen the triceps on the push. Okay, so all we're going to be doing here is elbows as high as you can and extend your arms up in the air. Okay, so you want to just punch toward the ceiling. Okay, so pretty simple movement. Now you want to make sure you're punching toward the air with just your forearms extending and locking out your elbows. You don't want to be moving with the shoulders like that. That's going to turn into a shoulder press, and in turn you're going to be working your shoulders with this one more than the triceps, which that's totally fine. You know, like we said earlier, shoulders are also involved in pushing movements, but if you want to look for a triceps extension, you want to make sure you keep your elbows in place and you're just moving from the forearms, just like that. Okay, so let's get 15 of those. last exercise we're going to be doing here is a triceps push down. Now this one, you can either tie this off to an anchor point above you, or have someone hold the resistance band above your head like this, or if you want to just do it on your own, you can hold one arm locked out with your arm above your head. The other arm is going to be the arm you're moving. So you can see I start with my elbow at my side. I'm just moving from the forearm. So start from here, just extend your arm down like that. Okay? So pretty simple movement, but the tricky part is going to be keeping this arm extended the whole way to keep tension on the resistance band while you're extending your arm down like this. Now you can see this is just a single arm movement, so you're going to need to do both arms if you want to work both arms evenly. I would highly recommend doing that just to kind of keep the muscle pretty symmetrical on both sides, so when you're pushing your wheelchair or just doing daily activity movements, that you keep your muscles kind of working in the same way. Okay, so let's get 15 of those. We're just going to be doing one side in the video here, but make sure you obviously complete both sides. Now, like I said, we want to do both sides on that. Anytime you're doing a single arm movement, you want to make sure you do both arms at the same time, but for the sake of the video and so we don't go extremely long in this video and you can get to your workout, we're going to just do one arm there, but make sure, like I said, you're doing different rep ranges, different resistance band levels. So like I said earlier, I usually do 15, 12, 10 reps with a minute rest in between, and alternating or going from a lighter resistance at 15 reps, medium resistance at 12 reps, and heaviest resistance at 10 reps. Sometimes I even go less than 10 reps or more than 15 reps. Just kind of play with the resistance levels and the rep ranges, and see what works best for you. But yeah, so there's my favorite push workout to do to work my chest, shoulders, and triceps. Like I said earlier, if you like the video, leave it a like, comment on what you want to see next, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss a future video. See ya.